I'm just trying out something new. So let's see how this goes. I introduced some new protocols on here. Okay. So let's see if they work. And if not, well, I have a failing. Oh, there we go. Well, I had a failing light. So, yeah. Is Ask Me Anything Tuesday. And when I say ask me anything, I always have to make the necessary proviso that you can ask me anything that's family friendly and, not, well, yeah, basically something that's family friendly and don't ask me to give you therapy. Those are my two provisos. Um, Other than that, yeah, I mean, as long as it's family friendly, again, family friendly, and and you're not asking me to give you therapeutic help, then we're all good to go. So that's the only thing I ask. But yeah, other than that, yeah, you can ask me random questions or whatever. And also, I wanted to test out my new tools that I've added here. I've also changed, my accounts around significantly. Excuse me, significantly. This is now a branded account, which can give me, which is meant to give me a more professional take with my content creation here. So I'm starting to slowly make some adjustments. And like I said, I hope that my new AI tool that I've added on here will work. I'm not sure if it works on the mobile or only on the full desktop live stream version. My day's doing fine so far. I'm about to go work out. It was a little too hot earlier, so now that it's cooling down, hopefully I should be able to go outside and um, work out once the sun has gone down. Oh, and just to help people with asking me questions, like, so I'm a bit nerdy, so if people want to ask me questions about like academic stuff or comic books, or superheroes, or sci-fi, um, stuff like that. Not really a sports junkie, unless you're talking about martial arts and combat and like specifically combat sports like boxing, kickboxing, MMA, Muay Thai, uh, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, wrestling, stuff like that. So if people want to ask me stuff along those lines, that's the stuff I'm the most knowledgeable about. But I mean, you can ask me any random questions, and I'll give you my opinion. Doesn't mean that it'll be a good opinion or an informed one, but yeah, I mean, go for it. And if people are new to the channel, I ask them, to subscribe if they can. You know, cost you nothing. Um, and you can support me by, sharing the videos and liking the videos. So, hello to everyone in the chat room. Again, this is I usually don't do this as early. I usually try to do it no earlier than 9 p.m. And for the past, I guess, 6 months or so, I've been usually doing it after like 10 or 11, to be honest. But I notice I've had two different crowds, towards midnight and the one in the earlier evening. So I'm trying to see if I still have that older audience from the earlier evening that I used to have. I think a lot of them may have skedaddled elsewhere because the time I was live streaming was a little too late for them. And I understand that because I get up early myself, but not everyone is willing to burn the, burn the candle at both ends, so to speak. And I use that, and I usually accomplish that through a lot of coffee. Oh yeah, ask me questions. Again, I'm hopeful that my tools will come into play here. That I've added my new AI tools. I'm not sure it's going to work on the mobile version. I might still have to work on that. The top fans thing is not something I've added. That's part of YouTube itself. So that, you know, usually is rewarded to the people who first interact in the chat room. But again, what's up to everyone? Um, yeah, it looks like so doing this trial run. When I say trial run, I've done this Ask Me Anything format dozens of times. The trial run is seeing if my new AI tools will work on my vertical live stream or only on my desktop live stream because I, spent hours working on that. So I was hoping that it would still show up as the managing moderator here in my mobile version. I'm not too sure it is, unfortunately. I have a AI moderator that let's see here. I haven't. It doesn't seem active yet, but I don't know. It could be working behind the scenes to restrict stuff. Hmm. It might be still stuff I have to do. See. What's up, Carlton? I'm trying out my new chat bot I added as a moderator. No, I don't think it's working, or I might. It might only work on the full desktop version of the live stream, not the mobile version. There's a mobile version for it as well, but I, I'm not sure if I activated it correctly. So this is why I'm doing my so-called trial run. Looking at my desktop here, chat box. Hmm. Yeah, this definitely isn't coming. I'm looking at I'm looking at a chat room. I think it's just an example because it definitely can't be coming from mine because it's just like generic. I think it's just a generic example. Uh, but if you do see some funky stuff going on, that will be the cloud bot that I've added on here. I hope it comes into play because it's supposed to do some stuff, but again, I think that's only on the desktop version. On the desktop version, it will be able to award viewers like loyalty points, um, and you can actually play like little games within the chat room, stuff like that. I'm pretty sure that doesn't work on the mobile version though. But I was still thinking the its ability to moderate will work here on the mobile version. I'm not sure yet. I see. See. Now there's a chat box where you can display your chat on screen and set up the sound notifications for new chats. Supported platforms: Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Trovo. I haven't even heard of Trovo before today. What is Trovo, guys? X and Kick. All of those I've heard of. People think Kick is new. Kick has actually been around for a long time. It's just that it was something mostly younger people use, and they have successfully kept their Gen X parents and their baby boomer parents and grandparents from knowing about Kick. But yeah, Kick's I've heard of Kick since what, 2014, 2015. But back then I don't think it was for live streaming. I thought it was just like a messaging app. Or maybe it still is and they branched off to make it so that you can live stream on Kick as well. Sort of like with Snapchat. Like Snapchat didn't originally allow you to live stream. Now you can live stream on Snapchat. So I'm guessing it's the same thing with Kick. Um, I can set goals. Again, I think all these things are just for the desktop version. Darn it. Go back to the dashboard. But yeah, I mean, guys, you can ask me questions. RP Hulk Hogan, yes. I mean, my friend and I were just laughing to say at all these little like um, pro blackety black guys talking about they hate Hulk Hogan now. When I was like, come on, most like if they grew up in our era, almost every kid saw Hulk Hogan as a hero. And people keep saying, "Oh, well, yeah, he said numerous racist things," when the only thing they know conclusively that he said was that leaked audio from 2015. Now everyone acts like, "Oh, he always been bad." I'm like, "Really? Y'all always known he's been bad?" Y'all didn't know that until those WWE documentaries came out a few years ago, and then that leaked audio 10 years ago with him going on a tirade about about his daughter dating someone black, and he talking to his son about the situation and all that stuff. And it's like, look, everyone is flawed. Like uh, you can't point to any public figure and not find something very problematic about them. I mean, the cons- if I was a conspiracy theorist, which I definitely am not, like some folks are, like some famous comedians whom I shall not bring up here. But if I were like some of these conspiratorial minded comedians, some of them think that you can't even become a noted celebrity, a public figure, without having some sort of damage that can be basically levied against you if you step out of line. So I don't know. He said Hogan was a man of his time. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. He was a womanizer. He said racist. He he used N word stuff. I mean, people talking about, and it's so hypocritical. I think you saw my video about that, Carlton. It's like it's so hypocritical. The same black dudes that will say all sorts of racist stuff in private conversations with other black people would be the main ones mad when they know of some notable white public figure who's said something like racist. It's like you don't get to cry, you don't get to cry wolf when you're doing the same thing. It's just that what you talk about is never privy to the public. On top of that, I mean, all these people talking about, oh, they hate Hulk Hogan now because he uses the N word. I mean, Papa John's used the N word like literally every day, and people still buying his pizza. It was so bad that he said in the article that he found it hard not to use the N word on a regular basis, and I'm like, wow, like what what occasions do you need to say the N word every day? Like, is he just throwing pepperoni on the pizza? Like, goddamn, like we put some more mozzarella on this pizza. Like, why is he saying the N word so much that like he said he found it. He said he had to go to like therapy or something like that because he couldn't stop using the word. But that didn't stop black people from buying Papa John's. Oh, the Streamlabs is working. Yes, there we go. You see that? You see that content? It's working. That is my new AI moderator. So yes, it is working. The trial run is happening. There's still some more stuff I have to do, but it's like I had to make some adjustments because I switched my account to a brand account so that I can have more professional detachment from my individual use of YouTube when I'm just watching stuff myself and having people like try to look up my information and all that sort of stuff. So now it's just more professional, and the brand account is better for like if I want to do business or collaborate with other content creators or seek out um, brand deals and stuff like that. So, and the Streamlabs is automatically going to help me like with people not being good people. Mangoria, what are you talking about? First of all, the number of people in the chat room fluctuates too, as I've explained um, ad infinitum. I upload all my live streams so they get monetized, my friend. So that's why I speak, because whereas you may not want to interact with me, there are people who will watch this once I upload them. So I'm not going to have them looking at dead air. I've seen a lot of live streams where people, because there's no one interacting with them in their chat rooms on their live stream, just don't say or do anything, and that's dumb because once they upload these live streams as a pre-recorded video on their channel, no one's going to sit around and just watch people just twiddle their thumbs into like the ether with not saying anything. So I talk. On top of that, you I'm getting paid for this. I've already reached several partner perks. Shout out to YouTube for the partner perks. I've already got a free movie ticket for AMC, so I'm gonna go use that to go see Fantastic Four. Thank you. They also gave me 6 months of free premium on here. Thank you very much. With the ability to possibly win $1,000 just because I've collaborated with another content creator. And third, what's the other partner perk? I may be getting a free YouTube shutter clapper board, and if so, I'm going to end. If I do win that clapper board, I'm going to end every YouTube stream and video with me hitting the clapper board. So if you think I'm just doing this talking to nobody, then you can go suck a dick because I don't care what you think. But I get paid. Skinner says, "Do you have a go-to Tuesday fast food for Tuesday?" No, I mean I have my favorite fast foods, but I don't have one for like a particular day. Like my favorite fast food is General So chicken. Generally Chinese takeout and generally any Chinese takeout, but specifically like General So chicken. Also, my other fast foods are Philly steaks, um, buffalo wings. Um, I, I don't know if I would consider it fast food, um, but pho, Vietnamese pho soup, the pho noodles. I love pho noodle soup, which is spelled PHO by the way, but it's pronounced pho. um, and McDonald's. Like any given day, I can eat McDonald's every day. I rarely get it actually. I might eat McDonald's every 3, 4, 5 months, whatever, whenever I get a chance. But I can eat it every day if I want it. Like when I'm overseas, I do eat it more regularly because it's cheaper and the food tastes better overseas, even though it's literally the same way they make it here. But they use overseas, they tend to make it with better quality foods. So I can eat McDonald's every day, especially when I'm overseas. But I don't have a Tuesday food. I know people have like Taco Tuesdays or whatever, but I can eat tacos any day. So yeah, guys. Yeah, looks like my new AI moderator is doing its due diligence, and I'm pretty sure behind the scenes, if anyone has been trolling, it's already ban. Like I've already I have it set that some words people are gonna get automatically timed out for it, and there's gonna be some words I just don't tolerate, which is gonna automatically just ban the people. So shout out to Streamlabs for this great AI tool. But any other questions besides what's my favorite Tuesday fast food? Like I said, again, I don't have a a favorite Tuesday food, but I do have favorite fast foods. And like I said, the top of my list is General Tso chicken, which is Chinese takeout. Um, but I'm glad my little setup is working here. Now if I can just add some more things. By the way, guys, I do have merch coming. I'm just waiting for well, I am waiting the um for the store to connect to my channel. I've already set it up, but apparently it takes several days the um before it will be recognized by the um the YouTube studios. Why why do vacation? Oh, well, I mean that depends on your your purposes for vacationing. Or some people don't vacation, and I mean I don't know. Like some people rather live here and just vacation overseas. And but then some people do expatriate to other countries. I briefly had expatriated, but came back because I thought I needed to be here. But next time I do go back, I will be staying. Now, if it's cheap, yeah, I mean, especially if it's cheaper over there. But I mean, you got to realize there's other considerations why people might still want to come back here. Family, uh, most importantly, their jobs. Many people don't have the luxury of working uh, overseas, so they have to stay here and just go back to those places. Like some people may have second homes in places like Dominican Republic or Colombia or Thailand, and then they just keep going back regularly because they still have to stay here for work until, and then they probably end up retiring in those places. Um, but I think that's the main reason is just that people's means of income is still here in the United States, so they can't just up and leave. That's the main reason. And but it, like I said, it could be other personal reasons as well. Uh, there's so many tools on this little nifty Streamlabs thing that I want to try out on here. But this is my first trial run, and so far I'm liking it. I am liking it. But like I said, to answer you and other people's question, why I'm seem like I'm talking to myself on the live stream is because I upload all these live streams as videos once the stream is over, so that people can watch them. I often have people say, "Oh, I didn't catch a live stream. I'll watch it. I'll watch it. Tonight, or I'll watch it tomorrow, something like that." Um, I'm like, okay, cool. And that's why I upload all my live streams. Like I've uploaded all of them except for one because it got demonetized because I was playing copyrighted music. So I ended it didn't make so it just made more sense just to delete that, because if I tried to delete all the sound, all the music, it would be nothing left of the video. So I just deleted the whole video. But except for that one, all of my live streams I uploads for people to watch later. Plus, when because live streams are longer form videos, I can I can generate revenue through the ads that YouTube places in those videos. Even if people have premium, so if you have YouTube Premium, which I have now, which is a partner perk of being a YouTube partner here. So even if you have YouTube Premium, and which makes it so that you don't have to watch ads, you still the premium user watching your videos um, will still give you ad revenue from them watching your videos, even though they don't have to watch ads because they're a premium member. So all in all, is a very good idea that most YouTubers use long form content like live streams. Like they YouTube generally prefers people to do live streams and YouTube shorts. They like people doing the YouTube shorts because it can compete obviously with TikTok and the IG Reels, which is also a wannabe TikTok uh, format. And then they like the live stream because that keeps them competitive with again like with like other live streaming sources like Twitch and stuff like that. And a lot of people, and let's be honest, a lot of YouTube content creators make their bread and butter from their live streams. Do you support what ICE is doing? Yes, I do. I definitely do. Um, when I mean, under the past previous administrations, we let 662,000 people in who were convicted criminals. Um, about 15,000 of them, about I think yeah, about 15,000 of those folks who were convicted criminals had uh, grapist charges. I have to put the G on it. um, and 13,000 of them had unalived people. Um, and most of those people, when they came over, were unaccounted for because they were just allowed to go into the general population and they weren't being monitored. On top of that, you have folks here actively committing crimes as well. And then even the ones who aren't committing crimes, they damage the American workforce. And I mean, this is not something new. The champion of of um, the Latino Martin Luther King, Cesar Chavez, was the champion of Chicanos and the American blue collar labor. About 50 years ago, he himself, both being Latino and Chicano, was against illegal immigration for that fact that it hurt American workforce, which is why our labor is so cheap, and those illegal immigrants often were exploited by these greedy American companies. So it was a lose lose situation for Americans. So and those folks coming. So because people always say, oh, people don't want to work anymore. That's why they won't do these jobs that they hire illegal immigrants to do. No, Americans will do those jobs. It's the fact is they're not going to do it for 50 cents. You're not going to have people out on a farm picking oranges for like 50 cents an hour. Like I'm 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 exaggerating, but they pay these people slave wages and then say and then they turn it around on Americans and say, well, we have to get them because Americans won't do the job. Well, yeah, Americans will do that job. It's just you're gonna have to pay them better for it. Also, I mean, then yeah, a lot of people don't realize a lot of people that work for ICE and Border Patrol themselves are Latino. And by the way, they're not only rounding up Latinos; they are also rounding up Asians. Um, they're they're rounding up Africans. They're rounding up Caribbeans, and even Europeans. But they don't put that much on the news. They just want you to focus on the Latinos. But they're rounding up everyone. And again, I support that because illegal immigration hurts the labor force here in America. And again, when you have people who've come here, when you got 662,000 convicted criminals that were just allowed to come into our country, that is a problem. So yeah, I do support what they're doing. And also, their job would be a lot cleaner if local law enforcement worked along with them instead of trying to impede what they do. But I mean, it is federal, always trumps state and local, so they can impede them as much as they want. But ultimately, federal law reigns. Federal law is supreme. That's a constitutional law. That's constitutional law, the supremacy clause. So because of the supremacy clause, federal always trumps state and local. So no matter how much local and state, I really haven't seen state, but local, but like local and county, no matter how much they try to impede what federal law enforcement is doing, like ICE or Border Patrol, um, federal law trumps state and local. Someone actually told me a few days ago that I should work for them. I'm like, yeah, no, that's not helping me. That wouldn't really help me overseas. I'm developing some new job skills that I can take with me overseas, or basically take anywhere with me. So why so many Americans protest against ICE and they're not immigrants? Be- because of political reasons. It's it's become politicized. Um, Basically, if you're on the left, you're against it. If you're on the right, you're for it. However, there are people in the middle who are for or against it for on more rational grounds. The people, the moderates may be for it or against it, but usually their reasons for ha- their reasons for or against tend to be more more rational, for lack of a better word. Again, I'm for it. I can see why some people are against it, but I want to know where was these same people with all that energy 20 years, 20 years ago or 24 years ago, with the establishment of Patriot Act, um, and the formation of Homeland Security and ICE was all a manifestation of the Patriot Act back in 2001. And back then, you know, the boogeyman back then wasn't the illegal immigrants, but supposed terrorists. And just like illegal immigration, it became racially coded. And people forget that now because I remember as a college student back then how hated George W. Bush was back then. Now he's become kind of beloved on the left just because he has been friendly towards um, Obama, but it's like Negan versus it's become like governor versus Negan, where now Trump is Negan and Bush was the governor, and people forget now with Negan how much worse the governor was. So that's my little nerdy input. What's up, J Bugs? But does that make sense? But yep, again, so like I have my merch store coming soon. It's still pending. I don't know why it's still pending. It said 2 days pending, but that's been pending for like 10 days. So I don't know what's going on with that. But I will have merch soon where you can buy a Just A Contrarian t-shirt or sweatshirt or hoodie or coffee mug or hat. It'll all have my logo on it. And if that goes well, I'll develop some other designs. But for right now, I'm keeping it simple by just using one design and see how that goes. Because it's a pretty unique design. You're not going to see literally anywhere else the design which I created, which I actually created through a superhero. This is funny because I'm pretty sure that website doesn't exist anymore. But this was like back in 2004, 2005. There was a superhero image generator, and I just plugged in some information in it, and it shot out that image, and I've been not decided to use it as my logo here. And because I have not seen that image generator in the past 21 years, I'm guessing that it's no longer existing, and the image is pretty unique to me. I haven't seen it anywhere else on the internet, at least. Um, but yeah, this is going swimmingly well. I'm wondering. The only thing I'm worrying about is if I made the moderation too strict. I don't think I did though. Through my Cloudbot moderator, just does word protection, link protection, symbol protection, caps protection, paragraph protection. Because let's be honest, no one's trying to read someone's ma, you know, master thesis on here. Emote protection, Zalga protection. I just learned of Zalgo. But yeah, it looks like it's doing its job well. Um, yep, look like it's doing its job. Um, By the way, if people want to donate, I have a friend in the Philippines who I'm still, looking out for. We kind of we hit we hit the monetary amount that I wanted so that I could give to her, but I'm uh still taking more donations for her. She's a Filipino who lost her home 3 years ago in a super typhoon, and she's never really recovered from that because she's now living in a like a shared housing space with her and her daughter. And then if that so she originally needed money so that she could um, go through um, an employment process, where over there you have to pay for, you know your when you apply to places, you have to pay for your own processing of that application with like your background and all that sort of stuff. The things that they jobs do here automatically when you apply there, you have to pay for those things. Like, that's crazy. You have to pay for your own background check and all that sort of stuff. So that was originally the reason for me building some money up for her. But now it's also because her daughter, is was having some medical issues, serious medical issues. So now, you know, she needed money for that as well. So I've been trying to raise a little bit of scratch for her, and luckily I did get my payout limit for YouTube that I can send to her, but I won't get that until next month. So unfortunately, she still has to wait till next month before I can do that. But if someone wanted to send it on Cash App, that would go much faster. If sorry, I'm just grabbing some stuff here. But yeah, if people wanted to donate to her through through my Cash App, then I would send that to her directly instead of her having to wait. So I told her she'll just have to wait until the money comes from YouTube when they send me my deposit. Uh, but if someone wants to give it to me through Cash App, I can give that to her. Like, I can send that to her immediately. YouTube does like their payouts, I think, every month. So it doesn't matter how much you make. Like, once you hit that payout limit, uh, and for some people that payout limit may it'll be like $100. I think that's the minimum you can set it to. Some people set their limit much higher, the ones who make more money, but the minimum you usually have to accomplish is, I'm giving you guys a lot of info. You have to meet like at least 100, and then it'll keep accruing until you hit that payout period for that month or the next month. So, which is cool. So 100 is actually a good marker to set, since like I said, it'll still take you a month anyway before you can receive it, right? So like, say you hit that payout limit in one day, which happens for a lot of YouTubers. Shoot, they might make that in just one donation, and then they receiving thousands a day or whatever. And then by the time they hit that payout period, that might be like a nice. I'm not saying me. Don't think it's me. No, but it might be for some people like a $10,000 payout or something like that by that end of that month. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Carlton. Is this? That's why I laugh when people are like, "Why are you talking to yourself?" Like, bro, I'm getting paid. Because like, even if no one's interacting with me, like being able to do a long form video means I'll get ad revenue when this is uploaded. Like I check my videos right after they're uploaded, and I see that they're already generating ads. The only time they don't is if I've used some pretty rough hewn language in my live streams, and so they only are partially monetized or completely demonetized. So if I use some rough hewn language to put it put it in that way, then I get nothing. But I've set it up so many different ways. So there's the super chats, right? And it's like four different ways I can get super chat. I mean super the supers. So there's the super chat, super thanks, which is for pre-recorded videos. There's also super stickers. There's the gems. They give you like the little generated images. Um, I also have it where it'll pay me when they can use my stuff for like educational purposes. I haven't gotten a brand connect deal. I'm still waiting for that. You'll know when I have a brand connect deal though, Carlton, because you'll see me like advertising something in videos, right? um, what else? Um, oh, and like in the ads, so like there's they'll put ads for both the shorts. So in between shorts, they'll do ads, or in my pre-recorded videos and live streams, they'll do the ads. So there's that. Um, for premium users, they won't see ads, but I'll still get revenue when they watch the video, even though they're premium users, so they don't get to see ads. Uh, and I partnered with a with a company that does uh, AI generative AI, where they will actually um, train their AI model to my videos. So um, there's that as well. My on one of my video listing columns is nerdy stuff. Everything from the nerdy stuff I've turned into like a podcast as well, so that everything that I upload into that column for nerdy stuff automatically gets turned into a podcast. So that is another way that people might listen to me. And then again, like I said, I have my store through T Public. I'm just waiting for it to show up on the channel so that you guys can see it and buy the merch. I'm gonna buy it myself. Like as soon as I'm waiting for it to show up before I buy it. But as soon as it shows up, I'm gonna buy some of my own merch, so you guys can see what it actually looks like. I'm I'm definitely gonna get the T-shirt. So that would be dope. Let me see something here. Uh oh, and I've missed. It was a. I just remembered I was supposed to do a live stream with a friend of mine. Um, I'm gonna have to hit him up after I finish live streaming because we were supposed to do it 2 weeks ago. Then we changed it to last week. And then last week I completely forgot. So yeah, I completely forgot about that. So I got to link up with him so I can give you guys another live stream where I collaborate with someone else because he said he wanted to talk about some things. Uh, as far as he wanted to talk about like issues with relationships and with ice. I don't know if he's going if we're going to do both that day or we're going to do them on two separate live streams. But I know those are two topics he told me he wanted to talk about. So I'm like, shoot, let's go for it. And one of my moderators, Moonlit Fern, he and I are supposed to collaborate as well, so that I wanted to talk about the Thailand Cambodia war. So hopefully, get that done soon. I'm just waiting for him to let me know when he's free because being he's on the other side of the world, we're like 12 hours, 12 hours difference. So it's already hard enough trying to collaborate with other working adults, but then you're trying to collaborate with another working adult who is in a time zone that's completely 12 hours different. it's hard, and I notice because dealing with my wife when when I'm not with her, and we got that 12-hour time difference is difficult. So among other things. So, the Hulk thing, uh, that previous live stream I did, I think it was the Hulk, and I put it under entertainment and nerdy stuff. Although maybe I should have put it under political because, like I said, the company I've partnered with apparently loves when people talk about political stuff. Um, but hopefully they can still utilize that. That would be a slower payout with them because it takes like 2 months for them to collect their data, and then another 2 months to pay people based on the data that they collected. So that's like around every 4 months. But it can be a nice check. So this is starting to become real. Still some other things. I think I need to buy a microphone because I don't know the consistency of my voice on here. What's up, Bio Beast? Uh, he said Hulk was an American hero, but Terry was racist. That's fair. But like I said, it's been so. I think you saw my video um, on that, or well, I know you were in my live stream. And my thing about you know Hulk Hogan being racist is again people are flawed. He being racist didn't mean he hated all black people though, because he there was a lot of black wrestlers who came out to support him. Another a funny twist on that was that there was another wrestler who came out, and some of the black wrestlers who supported him, he was like, "Y'all full of crap." He said, "Because y'all was talking trash about him when he was still alive. Now that he's dying, now that he passed away, y'all, now y'all like, yeah, we had so much love for the Hulk." He's like, "Y'all need to stop the BS." So look, life is messy, and I mean, how many fathers? I mean, come on, let's be honest. How many white fathers really want their daughters to date a black guy? Not many. I mean, the only ones that do probably want to put you in your um want you to put you in your what's the little thing in the movie when she stirred the little tea. um but yeah, but the movie Get Out, like it was some white girl I dated. Her I remember her family being like that. Like the first time we went out, I met her family. I don't know what that was about. I don't know if they did that for her security, or they were just eager to meet me because they were like this liberal family. I don't know what was going on. This is like when I first started going at University of Maryland. She was a cutie though. I don't know why I didn't start a relationship with her because obviously she was interested. And I already met her family, so it was like, hey, she might as well be my girlfriend. I don't know why I didn't make her my girl. Yeah, the sunken place. Yeah, like the only white guys that was eager to have their white daughter be with a black guy wants to put you in your sunken place. Pause. Pause. But yeah, um, um, but, yeah, but I mean, and come on, you know how many white people will probably say the N word? Like he just got caught on leaked audio. You know how many white men probably say the N word or would say that about their daughter dating one? Like I ain't letting my daughter date some N word. I mean, I've literally had people who I consider friends that I caught like just when I used to work when I lived on when I was in college, before I found like housing, like campus housing, I stayed. Well, I was in campus housing, but I lived in a fraternity house just as a boarder, because they used to allow boarders. And but another thing is a lot of the boarders they turned, often ended up becoming frat brothers, because they were offered them a bid to join, which actually happened, and I turned them down. I wish I didn't, but like what place I boarded, I mean, a place I lived at twice on campus, like they offered me, to join, but I caught them saying the N words a few times, Jewish at that, and it was like they were just like, oh my bad, and at least they apologize, but man, they say the N word a lot, uh, when we're not around. Trust me. When they self censoring themselves when they listen to rap songs, they not self censoring themselves when they listen to them songs by themselves. They saying every single N word as hard as possible when no one is around. Every time they hear Ice Cube or someone else, you best believe they saying those N words. They probably using a hard R with it as well. Colonel says Mel Gibson will get the same treatment when he passes away. No, he already. I mean, true, but he already got his. Like they already pilloried him, uh, while he was alive. Like, you know, for the anti-Semitic remarks and all that sort of stuff. Like, he already got his. Hulk Hogan got his in his death because it was just a bunch of people. The difference, the reason why the Hulk Hogan caught. Well, you were in my video in my live stream last week. You remember the reason people came at the Hulk so hard when he died last week was because he was a Trump supporter. He, and people are still in their feelings about Trump. Like when he came out, he like was. I mean, look, he energized the Republican the Republican uh well, not primary because he didn't. Was it a well? I guess it was the primary. Whatever. Like he basically galvanized that whole um inauguration ceremony. Not the inauguration. Whatever you call it, the election thing. He galvanized it when he came out and ripped his shirt and had the little MAGA thing on and all that sort of stuff. Like, and for him doing that, it just he just made a whole bunch of people on the left just hate life. Like, no, not Hulk Hogan. He was my hero. Why could he support Trump? I hate him. He's racist. But yeah, that's what it was. They came at Hulk Hogan so hard in his death because it's we're still you know we were still 7 months in from Trump's re-election, so people are still very bitter about that. So anything anything associated with Trump is going to be automatically hated by half of the country. Like I swear, like anything, like people might love Fruit Loops and Captain Crunch, but then if Fruit Loops and Captain Crunch was eaten by Trump, all of a sudden people would be like, "Man, fuck Fruit Loops, fuck Captain Crunch." Like I was serious. This, I hate to say Trump derangement syndrome, but obviously, there are definitely some mental health issues with some of these people who just hate anything associated with that man. It is not healthy. It is not healthy at all. But I guarantee, like, if you saw Trump, like, look at McDonald's. Like, people literally hate McDonald's now, not because it's unhealthy, which it is, but because Trump likes McDonald's. Then automatically half the country now hates McDonald's because Trump likes McDonald's. It's the same thing. You could take the most innocuous thing, and if Trump likes it, then automatically everyone now hates it. Like I said, you can literally just see him eating a bowl of Fruit Loops, and he'll smile and be like, I've always loved Fruit Loops since I was younger. All of a sudden, people are gonna be throwing their Fruit Loops in the trash can, talking about, man, fuck Fruit Loops. uh, Carlos says, ain't gonna lie, Hogan did good at the Trump rally. He's good on the mic. Yeah, I mean, look, people people get pumped when they see Hogan. Hogan was that dude. He was charismatic. I even remember Gremlins 2. I don't know if you remember Gremlins 2, the new batch, when they made it look like the film had broke down halfway through the film, and the usher came up to Hulk Hogan. He was like, "Excuse me, sir, we're having some problems in the projection booth. Can you help us?" And he was like, "Look here, brother. A bunch of people paid a lot of good money to see this movie. Bought some popcorn. You better get your act together before I come up there in the projection booth. Put put these pythons on you, brother." And then the movie started playing again. And it was like, "Thank you." He's like, no problem." Like, that was the sort of dude he was. Like, I remember watching that as a kid. I think that came what, 1988. Yeah, watching that as a kid, and like, all of us were sitting there laughing like when that happened, because it's like Gremlins went from like a, a, a a horror to a comedy. uh Carlos says, "Do you think if Hogan was stomping for Harris that he would have been be receiving the same treatment?" Nope. You know, you already know the answer to that. You already all of his racism would have been waved away if he had supported Harris. Again, like, the left the left are hypocrites. Like, this book, look, and that's, remember, I brought this up in the video last week as well. I brought all that up. Um, like I said, people people forgave Bush for everything he did, no, despite how much people hated him from 2000 to 2008. He was the governor, and now Trump is Negan, and people forget the governor was worse than Negan, especially if you remember the comic books. He was way worse. But I'm not going to specify why, because demonetized what he stuff that he was doing. But yeah, look, Bush was worse than Trump. He's the one who initiated the Patriot Act. He got Homeland Security turned into a department. He formed ICE. He got us involved in an illegal war in 2003 that lasted 5 years. Not to mention the Afghanistan war, which lasted 20 years. Lied about, weapons of mass destruction, all that sort of stuff. Started um, the started with, through the Patriot Act, being able to spy on American citizens, and continued with Obama, with that, not that they were going to create through the NSA an entire building to literally hold all the internet's information and have a profile on every single American. But that wasn't the word. But again, people forget they were calling Bush fascist back then, just like they were calling Trump. Matter of fact, they went so far as to try to link Bush's grandfather with the Nazis, saying he literally worked with the Nazis. But all that was forgiven because he hugged Michelle Obama, Big Mike. He Because he hugged on Big Mike and became friends with the Obama family and worked alongside Barack on some political initiatives. Like, everyone forgave the fact that people were calling Bush a fascist and a racist back then. But I remember. Pepper Farm remembers. On top of that, again, if he supported Harris, if Hulk Hogan supported Harris and supported Biden, they would have waved away all that issue about him back in 2015 about his racism. They would. It's so it is a mental health issue that people just automatically are triggered by anything associated with Trump. Because if he supported Harris, people at all these people would have mourned his death. Even people on the right would have mourned his death because people on the right would have just been like, "Yeah, we don't like him supporting Harris. That was some BS." But he was still our hero. He was still an American hero for a lot of us. The right, and that's the difference is the people on the right, on the political right, would have been more forgiving of him supporting Harris than people on the left would have been forgiving of him supporting Trump. Like I said, it's been a lot of racist people, but because they find themselves on the political left, people don't care. Like I said, Biden was racist. Joe Biden was literally racist as fuck. The dude been in the Senate since the 70s. He supported Strom. Look, he supported Senator Strom Thurmond, who was a white supremacist, like a well-known white supremacist who had a secret black daughter. He eulogized a KKK leader, Robert C. Byrd, who he called a mentor and a friend. He worked, and Harris even brought this up back in the 2020 in the 2020 Democratic debate. He Joe Biden literally worked against desegregation of public schools. He co-authored the 1988 crack bill, which made mandatory federal sentencing for crack cocaine possession. No other drug, just crack cocaine, because guess what? Because crack cocaine was being primarily used by black people. And then he doubled down by co authoring the 1994 crime bill, which targeted black men for, for minor crimes involving violence or drugs with over sentencing. But everyone forgave him for that because he made a fake black woman his vice president and made a black woman who's married to a white man, by the way, and then made another black woman a Supreme Court justice, also married to a white man. um, and he set up and he made Juneteenth a federal holiday. So we're gonna magically wave away all his racism, all the damage he's done to the black community with his 1988 crack bill, his 1994 crime bill, his working against desegregation of public schools, um, his his support of a white supremacist and a KKK leader. All that's waved away because he's on Team Blue. So that's how I feel about that. Sorry for that rant, brother. He said, "Yeah, people do have Trump derangement syndrome." He said Hogan was that guy in the '80s, hands down. His fame was up there with Michael Jackson. Yeah, he's just like one of those uh, like again, like I said last week, you have different people in sports and in entertainment that just embody that industry. He did that for pro wrestling. Hulk Hogan was the embodiment of pro wrestling, just like Michael Jordan was the embodiment of basketball. Mike Tyson was the embodiment of boxing. Michael Jackson was the embodiment of pop music. Um, Wayne Gretzky for hockey. Um, like it, Babe Ruth for baseball. Like he was that dude. Like people pretending he wasn't a childhood hero to so many because, and again, it's not because of the racism. That would have been waved away magically if he had supported Harris. His 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 cardinal sin was being a Trump supporter. That was his cardinal sin. Carter says Bush was way worse than Trump. I know, and I'm trying to tell you, brother. Like a lot of people who are millennials and Gen Z, the younger millennials, not the older millennials. the older millennials born in the 80s, they know how bad. They remember how bad the 2000s were, but the younger millennials, the ones born in the 90s and the Gen Z, they don't. They were still children or teenagers in the 2000s, so they don't realize that Bush was way worse than Trump. Like I said, he was the governor. Trump is Negan. Like he was way like Negan, both in the comic books and in the TV show, was misunderstood. But in the comic books, the governor was evil from the jump. Like they built in the TV show, they built up to show how governor was evil and like messed up. But in the comics, no, he was screwed up from his very first appearance in the books. It's just like, oh my, yo, this dude is crazy. So yeah, Bush was way worse. I mean, they had a whole movie making fun of how extreme his policies were with Harold and Kumar go to Guantanamo Bay. There was a whole movie making fun of that. Carter says Biden was the OG racist. Yeah, man. Like like I said, he like black people calling him Uncle Joe Biden when this man literally had so many people's fathers and uncles and sons locked up in the 90s through his 1994 crime bill or the 1988 crack bill, which did all that mandatory federal sentencing, basically making possession of crack a crime. But then you didn't see that, and making it seem like anyone dealing with it was evil. But then 30 years later, with the opium, with the opioid crisis, now they want to treat these people as addicts and victims of this drug instead of as perpetrators of of crime. Now, if you were associated with crack in any form in the 80s, in the late 80s to mid 90s, you were just a thug and a criminal and a super predator. But white all these little white opioid and fentanyl junkies are just victims. And then, like I said, the dude literally worked against desegregation of public schools and eulogized a KKK leader. That doesn't get any more racist. He literally eulogized a KKK leader, and people. And then again, I bring up Hillary Clinton. She when she ran for office, mind you, she won the popular vote. She just lost the electoral vote. She had 96% black support. 96%, despite the fact that she was out stumping for the 1994 crime bill, and she called young black men super predators. That was her term. She called black men super predators. But people forgave her because she said the right things back in 2016, and because she was in Obama's cabinet as the Secretary of State, fucking up Libya. Stop, but and she walked around talking about she keeps hot sauce in her purse. Like, bitch, what? And Carlton says, I remember watching his speech about the 94 crime bill back in November of 1998. Sorry, 1993. Yeah, I remember. I don't think I watched the whole thing. Pause. But I remember the highlights of that back in the day. Back then, I didn't know about Joe Biden. I just remember Hillary and Bill stumping for the 1994 crime bill. I didn't know who wrote it back then. But, Joe Biden, like I said, he's been in the Senate since the 70s, and he ran for office since the 80s. He said black people have a short memory and very forgiving. She won many of us over with that hot sauce gimmick. I rolled my eyes when I saw that. Like literally, even though I voted for her back in 2016, I really didn't want to vote for her. I wanted to. I was a Bernie supporter. The only reason I voted for her is because Bernie threw his support to her. He's a good soldier, although they literally undermined him. The DNC literally undermined him because he had way more support in the general population than she did. But the DNC literally undermined him because they didn't want a populace to win the ticket. And they did it twice, so in 2016 and in 2020. So that hot sauce gimmick was dumb as hell. And yes, it's not just black people. It's the the general electorate itself has bad working memory. Like I said, calling Trump a racist was just just a stroke of genius, but it has literally been their playbook for the past like 40 so years. Like there's been their playbook. Like anytime a Republican ran, they would just label them as a racist to scare black and brown people into voting Democrat. And it just what's happening now is that they are losing because that playbook doesn't work anymore. People are not going to simply vote Democrat because you call the Republican candidate racist anymore. That's just not going to work. Trump got the most black votes of a Republican since I'm going to say the 60s, maybe the 50s. But uh, yeah, it's just crazy. Like calling Trump a racist when he literally was a camp when he literally supported and was a camp and was a campaign uh and funded Jesse Jackson's campaign in the 80s is crazy. He flew over Nelson Mandela in a private chartered plane. I mean, he didn't do it for free, but still, he chartered a private jet just for Nelson Mandela after his release from prison in South Africa back in 1992. The dude put up what's her name? Jennifer Hudson family for free in one of his Trump Towers after they lost everything during Hurricane Katrina. Another thing he did, which wasn't advertised until like once he ran for office, was the fact he put up a homeless black woman in one of his hotels for free. But people don't talk about that stuff. He was racist because he claimed that Obama wasn't American and said that a bunch that um and said that a bunch of illegal immigrants were coming into America who were racist, rapists, and murderers. And he was right. He was right because the stats 3 years ago, no, 2 years ago, from ICE bore that out 2 years ago. That turned out to be true. 662,000 convicted criminals were led into the country who were not documented immigrants, and about 15 or so thousand of them had committed SA. 13,000 of them 13,000 of them have committed murder, and they were unaccounted for by immigration. He wasn't wrong because I didn't vote for Sanders because of that anti-reparation stance. I no, that's reasonable, but um, I'm talking about he didn't win the primary though. Like I'm not saying in Maryland you have to be a registered Democrat or Republican to vote in their primary. Now, in some states, you can independents can vote in either primary, but in Maryland you can't. So during the Democratic primary, I couldn't vote Um, as an independent in Maryland, you can only vote in the general election, not in the primary election. So I didn't get to vote for him. But it doesn't matter because they, like I said, in the leaked emails from the DNC, they literally said that even if he won more votes than Hillary, they still wasn't going to allow him to get the. They still weren't going to allow him to take the nomination. So it didn't matter how well he did in the primary. The DNC had already pretty much guaranteed that he would not get the nomination, no matter how many votes he got. That's why I say I if I were if I were still a registered Democrat, I would have gave up on the party because that's you're just if you're saying if you're basically saying that people's votes don't matter if you're gonna just choose who your nominee is going to be regardless of the votes. That that literally just takes away that literally just disenfranchises every Democratic voter because it means their votes don't matter. We're just going to choose who our nominee is going to be. If that's the case, why even have a primary election? Why even go through the facade of a primary election if you're going to ignore your voters? You're going to you're going to ignore the super delegates and all that sort of stuff whom they want. Like it's like nope, this is who we want our nominee to be. It doesn't matter if he won, you know, 10,000 more votes than the other person. So the fact that the Democrats would just disenfranchise their own voters show they don't really hold the 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 general electorate in high regard. They are elitists, and they are just as bad as the way people thought of Republicans back in the early '90s that they were elitist and aloof. The Democrats have now replaced them. Now they're the ones who are aloof and elitist. And Biden didn't want to talk to Ice Cube about his platinum plan for Black Americans, but Trump did. Exactly. That was another example. He said, so Ice Cube said they told him like they would talk to him after he got elected. Whereas Trump was like willing to talk with him now. So again, Trump may say racist things, but again, I don't think he's racist because he was willing to consider Ice Cube's plan for and he had people come to the White House on behalf of certain people to get them out of prison and stuff like that. Like remember Kim Kardashian? Kim Card someone threw her some good D. She was out there stumping to get black people released out of prison. But anyway, look, he even told what country was it? Sweden or Switzerland. He was on Twitter back in the day talking about you need to release ASAP Rocky. I mean, that was basically the equivalent of saying free my man's. Like he was out there saying y'all need to free ASAP Rocky. He said y'all doing him really poorly. He's American. He said America gives your country a lot of support. We don't appreciate that. He was willing. Look, he went to bat for just one rapper whom and I don't even like ASAP Rocky. He fucking sucks. And anyway, the fact that he was like, "Yo, ASAP Rocky is an American. Yo, y'all need to do better." Like ASAP Rocky doesn't hold any weight. So, but people are gonna believe what they want to believe about Trump. He said Trump was right about violent migrants coming over the border. He sure was. We got a troll. You're lucky my automated moderator didn't put you out for that. Uh, but you're going on timeout. I wonder if I should put Unk as one of the things I should time people out for. What do you think? Should I be nice and let people say Unk if it's respectful? I I see it used both respectfully and disrespectfully. Like my own niece and nephew don't call me Unc, but whatever. That's why I think it's only disrespectfully. I don't know. Then gonna come up in here with some Diddy stuff. But I think the chat room has been this calm because the AI moderation is working behind the scenes to purge people. Oh, it already deleted something. What did? Oh man, I didn't mean for it to time you out, Carlton. That was the moderation the AI. That wasn't that long of a message. All right, I'm gonna have to fix that again. Sorry about that. I said today would be a trial run for my moderation. I think I'm gonna take off that paragraph part because sometimes I know I'm verbose. I know sometimes you can't help but put something lengthy pause in the chat room. I'm gonna get rid of that par- paragraph thing. But apologies on that Carlton. Carlton said, yeah, Unc is pretty respectful in my opinion. It is, but it can't. The funny thing is, people are calling me Unc like literally like 20 years ago, and I was no near Unc. I was still, I was still in my late 20s, and I'm like, how are you calling me Unc? And I'm in my late 20s. Yeah, I took off the paragraph protection because that sometimes you got to put something verbose. And that I don't consider that a long message at all. To I don't think. But let me read it since people can't see it. It says, what's funny is that Trump roasts people all the time, but black folks don't like it. Black people love to roast people. He's just copying us. Yeah, I mean, so many comedians have said this long time ago that like Trump is basically like everything rappers have wanted to be, like make like everything is gold. You know, he loves everything being gold. He loves like he loves like fucking hoes. He cheats. Um, he he's all about making a lot of money. You know, he's braggadocious. He talks trash. Like he, I mean, he even has his own sneakers. So it's like everything a rapper would want. But yeah, I'm sorry about that. He said Streamlabs just told me to refresh the log messages. So yeah, I took that out of the that's what I was saying. This I was live streaming this early just because I wanted this to be a trial run of the new AI moderation because I can't always rely on my human moderators to be around when I live stream. So this will help a lot. Plus, it does a lot of other stuff behind the scenes as well. But yeah, I took off the paragraph protection because that wasn't even a paragraph. That was like one like full sentence. Gon says another chat Streamlabs can get really sassy. Oh, so you're familiar with it? Okay. I mean, because it depends on, but you can tweak it how you like. So if Streamlabs is sassy, it's because people that's how people like set their Streamlabs up. This is literally my first run of it. So I'm this was my trial and error. And this is on and plus I wasn't sure if it was going to work with a mobile live stream. I was scared that it would only work with the desktop version. Now, if this was the desktop version, they would offer me more obviously more options on here. Like people can play games and stuff like that, and build up loyalty points and all this sort of stuff, which I think is, I don't know if it does that on here on the mobile stream. I don't see anything about points. The top fan thing is through YouTube itself. That's something they initiated this month or last month. But yeah, paragraph protection is gone. Word protection. I'm gonna keep the word protection, but I'm not gonna add unk to it because, like you said, it can be respectful. That guy was just being a troll though, talking about can you make it clap. I'm like, why would you like even when I try to roast people, I wouldn't say something gay like that. Like some of these people are just like um closeted rainbow riders. Oh wait, I think I should do a live stream about Obama telling black men they need gay mentors. What the? That's crazy. As if we don't already have enough emasculation of black men in the black community. You literally got this little tether, because he's not a real black man. You got this tether going out pretending to be black, saying that black men need gay mentors. What the f is wrong with Barack Hussein Obama? Like he must be saying that because he ain't getting any pussy at home because his wife is. Anyway, I ain't gonna go there. But Obama was a Trojan horse for destruction. Yeah, he was. I mean, can you believe? I can't believe you literally said that, man. Black men need gay mentors because he had a gay professor who used to check him when he said certain things. And he probably checked him with his balls in his mouth. He says Trump is part of hip hop culture. He literally is. Like he was literally in a Mace video along with like the president of Singapore at the time. I think it was either the president of Singapore or like this CEO from Singapore. Um, and he was mentioned in other rap songs, and he was in like Will Smith. I mean, it's Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Like he was like a rap, like he was low key a rap icon throughout the '90s. He said, "I heard Streamlabs say, quote, if you keep commenting, we're going to have serious problems, unquote." Wow, dang. Now, also, so something you can set up on here is you can put quotes into it that the chat that the Cloudbot will say. I was thinking of a quote, but I didn't really have anything pithy I wanted to add that would add to the chat room. Then there's like a Q. I'm not exactly sure what this does. And this is just the basic form of Streamlabs. The Ultra can do even more stuff. But there's a bunch of stuff like betting, polls, giveaways. I can um I can add regulars in my chat room to it that they just allow like basically to, I guess it's the same as the moderators. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, the Streamlabs and OBS I guess has become quite popular with live streaming now. Uh, but I don't see any of these mini games because I think it doesn't do any of the mini games that I've selected um, on the mobile version. Unfortunately, because I wanted to see if any of those mini games would pop up. Uh, My tools. Um, name. Yeah, I can only. So did y'all run today? Uh, about to do my evening run. It was too hot earlier by the time I got up because like it, it, by the time it hits 8 o'clock, it's just too damn hot. Sometimes I'll do it, but if I don't do it before like 8, best 9 a.m., I'll just wait till the evening. Only thing I hate about doing it in the evening um, is that I can't do a dual run for the day because it's too late to do a dual run. But I'm getting to it um, in literally probably like 20 minutes. Uh, but yeah, I just wanted to try this. I'll see how it works. But at least I saw it. I see that it actually like warns people. But yeah, all the sassy stuff, like I'm telling you, if it's sassy stuff, people have either added those as quotes, like through like their through the Cloudbot, like you can set up like quotes for it to give, or it can, give certain commands. Um, the modules still not still not sure what the Q does. I'll have to look that up. But there's so many tools on here that I want to try out. And then I might do another live stream later, but I doubt it. We'll see. Um, but yeah, I think I'm gonna call it because we're the only one conversing in here. So I think I'm gonna call it. Um, but at least this was a successful test of the Streamlabs for the mobile stream. Because like I said, I wasn't sure with the mobile live it would work. I was scared it would only work with full desktop version, and right now I can't do a desktop version because I have to add a separate camera to the desktop because it doesn't have a quality built-in camera in this old computer I use just for like um, my my lead gen work that I do. It's like just my old work computer. But unless I see two other people in the live stream, in case they have a question, then I'm gonna call it a day. Is it be watchful in your night runs because these YNs are on a pro? Oh, bro, I know. I don't know if you actually did. I'm not sure if I mentioned it on here or not, but yeah, like last week, I literally saw these two YNs breaking into someone's car. The alarm was going off. This is an apartment complex. They didn't even care that the alarm was off. Like they saw me and they ran off because they saw my reflective vest, so they thought I was like private security. But I was just literally just running down the street and they hauled ass thinking I was like security or something like that. But yeah, they were literally just breaking, like the alarm was just blaring and they were still jiggering the car door. I'm like, the hell? Like it was just blatant, man. Just blatant. Because they thought because it was late. It didn't matter, it was late. Like you're right in front of someone's apartment building. Like you don't think half those people were probably hearing that their alarm go off. They are, yeah. But the Lions, like I avoid running into places where I would have to where it would be like more sketchy. So my where I run at night is different than where I run during the day. Plus, I had to be mindful of people not seeing me when they're driving at night. So I run a different my routes that I run at night is differently than during the daytime. But I appreciate it. Anyway, I'm gonna go, um, and hopefully I'll have some more tweaks for the live stream next time I do this. After I play with the configurations more a little bit with Streamlabs, but it won't be saying anything like you guys saying. Better not you say any more comments. That's funny. A sassy, sassy AI. And again, I got rid of the paragraph thing because that wasn't even a lengthy sentence because that's something I might have said. So, but I think, and plus I think there was been less interaction in the chat room just because the AI is on in the background, and it probably booted because some the word protection I put is going to time some people out. Others is going to just ban them if they say, they use drop like the N word and all that sort of stuff. And people try to be, how some people try to be slick and say Negro, Knee I mean Kneegrow. So I put that in there. So they try to use Negro. It's going to block them. It's going to ban them for that. If they and you've seen some of those other people who start spelling the word nigger by just putting the letters separately. So I blocked that too. So as soon as they put in, ban, because there's no need to like that. Just I'm hip to that. It ain't gonna work. And I don't ban people, but I'm timing people out. They try to call me Gus Fring. Like I don't even look anything like that actor. Like literally look nothing like the dude. Not that I would be mad because I mean, for his age, like he's like, you know, he was a smooth dude. Like he was the pretty Ricky guy back in the day. Like he was literally the guy in School Days. There was like the pretty light skinned dude that uh the Lawrence Fishburne character was warning Spike Lee's character about like they don't know who they are. They trying to be these Greek people. But anyway, yeah. So the whole Gus Fring guy, I'll time him out for that too. But yeah, this is a good trial run. All right, brother, I'm out. He said, "What's funny is that you remind me of my cousin Kevin Loki." I hope that's a good thing. But shout out to him. But yeah, I'm gonna go. There's a bunch of little tweaks I want to mess with the Streamlabs, but I'm gonna do that after I run, because literally I can be playing with this for like the rest of the night. Yeah, he's a good dude. Good stuff. All right, bro, I'm out. Take care, man. Thanks. Hopefully, I can win that YouTube clapper board, and if I do, I'll be able to end my streams or videos with with the little YouTube clapper board. That's another one of those partner perks that I may get. Peace out.